Yes, team. Good morning, man. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are around the world, man. Could today be the day? Officially, by the man himself, India said Liverpool is now officially putting a bid. But I was seeing it across a lot of the other journals trying to not say nothing, but they expect 130 million bid to go in. Guehi's one apparently went in yesterday as well, but we're still waiting to hear. But I listened to Glasner's interview as well, and he was sounding as if he wanted to keep him at all costs. But obviously, the man them are in the building. We'll dissect it, discuss it. Big up to G and big up to Sav first and foremost, man, before we get going about the football stuff. How's the man them's morning? I know it's earlier than we normally do streams. Well, me anyway. How's the man them though?
Bless, man. Bless. I thought you said 1 o'clock. I can't even lie. When I saw 10, I was like, oh, 10. I added a 0 for no reason, so I had to go splash my face. I was like, yo, okay, let's actually sit up now. Like, let's sit up still.
Let's wake up.
Bro, I was literally about to turn on something on the TV, and I saw your message. I was like, oh, yeah, 1 o'clock. That's calm. Yeah, I mean, I can chill, go for a run or something, and then I see 10. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let me actually get up then, so they're looking like a homeless person.
Is that what you did morning, G? You did the old man thing and that sitcom dad and that. Get up, little.
Okay, Savage. I don't like the fact that you did the old man thing, but yes, I watch a sitcom on a Saturday morning. I'm free this weekend, so I said, well, why not? Why not?
Yeah, I hear it, man. I respect it, blood.
What about you, Sav? Sporting your new club kit and that, but
this is last season, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
let me see the collar. Is that a collar or?
No. That's my beard, blood. That's.
Oh, it actually is. Oh my days, yeah. Your beard blended, but fuck it up. Yo, I thought that was the collar. I was like, yo.
No, the collar's there, bro.
Oh, okay. No. I literally want to see if it was like a round.
I respect it. I'll take it as a compliment. Nah, man, good man. Good morning and that, bro. Yeah, I mean, it's been that, bro. It feels like I've had half of it already still, but yeah, man, nice one. Do this stream, chill my son for a bit. Go cinemas, go comic book shop and that, and then yeah, man, come back do some work later on, innit? But to watch some football. Question.
Yes.
You see the thing when like women wash their hair and that, and then they wrap up their hair in the towel? Meaty.
Yeah.
Meaty. It's meaty, bro. I swear it doesn't matter what girl it is, bro. It's meaty. I don't like it.
I feel like this was sprung onto you by something you just experienced.
I just don't like it, bro. Like when they're like, obviously you gotta dry your hair and that, but when they keep it in that, try walk around the yard and that, like everything's cool. It's not cool. Keep that locked away, blood.
I hear it.
Hey,
sorry.
We now know. No, listen. It's the first 5 minutes is when we share our day and we share.
My missus don't do that, by the way. She learned that out about a decade ago, bro. Don't do that again. You know what I'm saying? Nah, there's some stuff in that, but it's just not my thing. Don't do that again. But it don't look good.
So when she needs to like dry her hair, what does she
lock yourself away and dry it? Innit? I don't know.
Just hide and dry your hair.
When they let the hair out and they start doing the side of the hair dry thing, that's sexy, blood. But when it's up in the sky and that, blood, less of that, bro.
Less it up in the sky.
When it's up in the sky.
Yeah.
But listen, big up to the people that are in the building. Love for the love as always, guys. There's already nearly 80 of you guys in the building, nice and early. Smash that like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and obviously subscribe to the Mandem as well. But no place to start but the Alexander Isak stuff, man. We've waited, we've conversated, we've gone back and forth, we've gone with whether it's his fault, Newcastle's fault, Liverpool's fault, loads of stuff. But obviously we were told Liverpool won't go back in unless there's encouragement, and Newcastle are finally making moves and signing strikers now. So, Liverpool, based on what I was reading, and obviously, as I said, it comes from India and people either rate his stuff or don't rate his stuff. Whatever it is, what side of the fence you're on, that's how it is. But he was talking about the hotel stuff, and I was like, yo, okay, contacts are telling you that the Newcastle guys and Liverpool representative are meeting, having conversation, and today they're having another meeting as well. But he's also about 24 minutes ago saying there was definitely an official bid that went in. And he also said the rest of the mainstream media will now break it because it's an exclusive to him on their team. 130 million, which is a hell of a lot of money, to be fair. I think it's probably going to be done in the next day or so now. I actually think now it's over now, especially with them actually signing a striker, Watermaid. And it looks like they're getting Strand Larsen, but then I also read that he might be injured or he's not playing in the game today. Or sorry, is it today they're playing Wolves?
Yeah, they said that Strand Larsen wasn't with the rest of the team last night.
Yeah, so it looks like they might be signing him as well. So this is encouraging news. This is great news for us, obviously, because we need another attacker. We definitely need another attacker, whether it's a striker, whether it's a winger. You can take your pick, whether Isak's your preference or not. We 100% need someone else to lessen the burden on the rest of the guys, bro. Because we've got one teenager that turned 17 yesterday, and we've got Gakpo that obviously started off the season well in terms of his goal contribution so far. Salah is working his way back into his form, and obviously we got Ekitike, which has hit the ground running. But obviously you still need a couple more, if not at least one more, to get the season off. But guys, looks like this is coming to an end now. What's the final thoughts on this, bro? Because I think from this point now, it's just about contract stuff. Here we go stuff. Past this point now, it's not going to be more Willie come, Willie go stuff going forward. Sav, I'll go to you first.
Newcastle playing today, isn't it? Against Leeds. 5:30. I was of the opinion I didn't think it was going to happen, but once it's involved, it may have been brought. But I was like, okay, yeah, you're not buying him to go on the bench, bro. And he's a good player, man. Like, he's young though, and he ain't not too much experience, but good player, tall. Same mold on that, but Ekitike, Isak, bro. Like his finger's taller than both of them actually. He's like 6'6", something.
Yeah, man's tall, boy.
Yeah, he's tall, man. So, I guess it does look like that, doesn't it? It looks like it. And if it is, then hey, man, I'm happy about it. If he's coming to Liverpool, I'm still quite relaxed because I just don't trust anything at the moment. But yeah, man, it's a top player, bro. Definitely makes us a better team in some ways. He gives us a bit of an X factor, which I do think we get from Ekitike, but I'm not half wrong about that. And I think he gives us the edge in big games and Champions League as well. You know what I mean? Because any new player you get in, it means that the depth gets a little bit better. So can't complain, man. And for the people with the journalists and stuff like that, listen, man, every journalist is going to get stuff right, wrong. They're not really getting stuff. It's just they get their sources in it. That's all it is. I just don't think that the journalists should be playing games anymore. With like, just keep it informative. Don't be trying to like have a laugh and stuff like that, because then it makes your stuff sound cheap. You know what I mean? Because I was in them talking about the helicopter yesterday, but it's not funny, bro. That's not funny. As anyone's in a helicopter, apparently it's a helicopter. Shut up, man. Come on, man. But let it happen, man. Let it happen, man. It's good. And, you know, if they do get Strand Larsen as well, which I don't know if they will, but it's actually a really good deal for Newcastle when you look at the two strikers they're getting. Even though it's a gamble, Isak was a gamble when he got in there. Everyone pretending like he wasn't. He was. And that's two big strikers, bro. So, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Run it.
It'd be interesting the way that, because technically that's what they wanted to do with Alexander Isak and Ekitike, innit? They wanted the two tall big strikers, or maybe they were going to shift the shape maybe into a two striker system. Maybe that's what the plan was, because if they go and get two of good standards, you'd probably say one's going to sit on the bench and the other is not. I think they both probably play. So it looks like they had a plan. We kind of messed up that plan. So they had to go and sort out business, which is fair. And I think the stance from Newcastle has always been, we have to get our players in before we even consider selling him, whether or not he wants to be here. And I think maybe they just thought, if the window closed, then we would just convince him he has to play in it, or maybe he'll just want to play because he has to play football. But what about you, G, bro? Now it's concluding. Now we've got this one. So obviously from India, and as I said, some people rate him, some people don't. But yeah. He did get the Oinstein shout out. Seen Sky Sports did a little breakdown on him the other day as well. I was like, right, okay.
We've reached a whole new realm, like
a whole new realm, bro.
Mad, it's mad. But yeah. Listen, man, it's about time, innit? Like, hopefully this gets accepted. I mean, I don't know. This just says a bid will go in. Whether Newcastle are willing to accept that, I don't know. But they've got their one strike in. I do still think they're looking for another, and then I think they'll then say, okay, he can bounce. But whether or not they can get it, I don't really know. Like, I don't know what this whole, because Wolves ain't on letting my man go anyway. So I don't know what that's saying on that side. And then on top of that, what about Vissa? This guy's not played football because of Newcastle. So do they go back in there? Like, I don't even know what's going on with that situation. So he must be kind of pissed slyly that they've just signed a striker.
He's deleted all of his posts. So for him, I don't know if there's any going back for him, to be fair.
He removed anything to do. He doesn't even look like he plays for Brentford on his Instagram.
See, listen what you've done, because you're waiting for another team to pattern up and they then go sign the next brother. Now there's only one more spot. You know what I'm saying? And that's between you and Strand Larson kind of thing. So yeah, man. Hopefully, yeah, it gets all sorted out as it says. If hopefully the bids come in, hopefully they just accept and we can move on though, man. Because this has been like, it's now gotten to the point where I don't even really care at this point now. Like Savage, you mentioned it about, you know, I think yesterday or the day before, about like not really needing or wanting Isak now anyway at this kind of point in time. So I'm like, yeah, like this doesn't change anything for me. Like you get a bad boy in, yeah, like Isak is serious, but bro, there's so many other things we need to pattern up.
Yeah, we score goals in it. That's the thing. We already score goals, bro.
Bro, Ekatike scoring goals.
Yeah.
So like, what's he gonna do? Score more goals? Like I don't know. Does that change anything? Listen, I just hope Liverpool know what they're doing. Like that's all I can really say. Like I'm not saying that they're not. They're obviously Liverpool are smart. They've been the best, you know, around for time. But I'm just like, okay, so you spent all this money on this guy. No worries. I got no beef with that. Isak is a bad boy. Are we gonna pattern the rest of the team, or you just focus so much on this one thing? So yeah, man.
Nah, listen, it's one of those things, in it, because I think a lot of dominoes needed to fall, and it felt like it just needed someone to trigger it, whether it was from another team, just so that they free up a space for a striker. But it just felt like one of those sagas that just lasted way too long than it necessarily needed to. And whether people go, well, the way Isak has handled it, obviously some people look at it and look down at it. Some people's kind of back to what he's kind of done. Was it Newcastle's fault not sorting out their own business and stuff like that? But at the same time, from a club side, they weren't expecting, from what the comms are saying, they weren't expecting to kind of lose him. So no, it's just interesting. But for us, obviously, we're Liverpool fans and we want the best players in our team, and we want to make sure our team is strong enough to go and compete on all fronts next season. So at least we can either retain the Premier League or at least go and get, you know, Mr. Big as a Champions League. So listen, it's going to be, I think, because you mentioned whether or not they'll accept this bid. Obviously, the stance has been Liverpool won't go back in unless there's encouragement from Newcastle. So I'm sure if they've gone back in with a bid, they must have kind of discussed it has to be something around this region, which I think maybe a month ago now, since the saga started, we had the discussion on it, and I'm sure the conclusion we was like, I think 130 will be enough to kind of get this across the line. So I think now it's just going, right, will they accept it? I think they will, because I don't think Liverpool go back in again unless it was like, all right, now we're willing to listen to an offer. Now we've ironed out this and we've got our striker in and we're on the verge to probably sign another one. Here's this. But when I was listening to Einstein, but it might have been a podcast maybe a few weeks back, it was just like, there's too many ifs in this deal. So if Newcastle get the two strikers, and then if Liverpool come in with a bid that's reasonable enough for what they value the player at. So questions have, man, do you think this is a reasonable amount of money? And it's a lot of money. But is this enough now? Newcastle has to just kind of say yes to this.
They don't have to. And they don't, like, they have the right to, if whatever they value the player at, they have the right to say that's what we want to get for him, especially with how long is left on his contract. But from a fan's point of view, that's a good amount of money because of the way the market is. The market's been inflated for a while. And from when midfielders started to go for like over 110 mil, strikers are the currency in football more than anything. So that's kind of normal to me. You know what I mean? Wirtz was 116, isn't it? Yeah. So like that sounds about right then. And that if it was 150 would make sense to me. So 135, yeah, that's them kind of prices. Sounds about right to me, man.
It's great. No, sorry, go on, bro.
No, just that's what it is, man. You look at all of like Caicedo and Bellingham and Rice and Wirtz and Grealish, bro. You look at the players that cost over 100 mil, Pogba, and then look at a striker, bro. It makes sense that he would be that much, man. But you are still gambling because you're hoping that he's going to continue doing what he's doing at your club, but that's what you always do with football, and they gamble. So yeah, makes sense.
Nice, man. Hopefully we can get this one. But it's crazy though. Like 130 is what gets you. And Isak is a cold blood. Like he's really good for me anyway. I think, and as a striker, he's really good. But would he say he's at the top of his game yet? Probably think there's still things he's gonna probably have to work on.
Yeah.
But I'll rather him work on that. The base level is good enough,
Yeah.
and then you can work on the rest of that at Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's world class yet, but he seems like he's on the right way to get 100%. There. And to be fair, a lot of world class players, sadly, people normally start rating someone like that once they get to the better level and they're playing consistent Champions League football and stuff like that. It's hard to rate it when you just have one. Only like Harry Kane's been able to get away with that, really. Because he was like he was doing it for so long, it became undeniable. It's like, okay, at this point, I'm supposed to diss Harry Kane again, bro. Like, I can't, innit? But yeah, I don't think he's but you know, with the way I rate world class play, I don't think everyone's world class. So, but yeah, man, definitely the lower bill. I know people think he's better than Haaland and all that. That's crazy, bro. But, yeah.
People think he's better than Haaland.
I've seen, but the whole time Liverpool's been linked to him is like, people just keep saying he's the best striker in the Prem, bro. So that means they think he's better than Haaland. Not a chance, bro. But
they forgot about Haaland, you know. Like they just forgot.
No, I think Haaland's gone into a realm where it's like we just know. You know when you just know a player's gonna score goals, so you just don't really rate the thing no more. You're like, oh, okay, I expect you. You know, like with Mo, you're like, I expect you to get a GA. So you don't like with Haaland is like I expect you to score goals. So who cares? Like that's the rating that he gets now. But good morning, Cav, man. How are you, bro?
Morning. Hey, that feels weird, doesn't it? Saying morning.
Yeah. No, for real.
You're not morning people, though, ain't you? We're all morning people. G, you morning person?
Yeah, I like getting up and just being awake. Like,
do you know what? Yeah. I love being up before everybody else. It's so sad. Even if I'm sat there doing nothing, I just love it. I feel better than everyone else.
Saturday's like a line for me, bro. And I got up at 5:45.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because sometimes we'd be playing clubs until 2 in the morning. Like,
I know normally I'm like, I got to go a bit. Yeah, that's normally what it is, man. Yeah, man. Take a break, but yeah, man.
No, it's great, man. Saturday morning, doing a stream, the sun shining.
What would you be doing if this was Saturday morning and you was 12?
I'd be watching cartoons or something, bro. No, actually,
12, I would have football training. Football
training. That's exactly what. Football training.
Yeah, possibly.
Possibly. That boring. What would you do if you was 12 and it was 8:30? Fucking hell, man.
This is so funny because I was speaking to my girlfriend yesterday and saying how lucky we feel that we've got siblings. Because when we were growing up, like when I stopped playing with toys and just grew out of things, my younger brother started getting into it. So I never lost being a child because I would always get drawn back in because I'd like the things that he does because he does. So asking that question Saturday morning, I'd probably just be like in the lounge scrapping my brother or something like with a pair of boxers.
That's true, you know.
Something stupid, you know, like wrestling. Like he'd have like the ring with the action figures, and then you just be doing like.
That's what I was gonna say. True, to what I was gonna say. That's what I'd be doing. SMTV Live, Cat Dealey, Ant and Dec, Pokemon. You get me?
Yeah.
Chums. That Chums what was like Friends, bro. Yeah. Wonky Donkey, and then I'd wait for SmackDown to come on, and then put my shin pads on while wrestling.
Oh, good times, man.
Good times.
Well, you had responsibilities, but Cav. Officially, by Indy, as I said earlier, man, some people rate his news, some people don't respect his news. But he's been kind of the man of the moment, man. He's been milking as much as he can milk it, and obviously it's a team of them, so they've been milking it as much as they possibly can. But today's tweet is probably about half an hour ago now, saying that it's official now. Liverpool's putting an official bid for Alexander Isak, but also at the bottom of it says the mainstream medias will express their side of it in the next 24 to 48 hours. So we'll get it from most of the other guys soon. He obviously there was another report he was saying to representative from Newcastle and Liverpool have been sitting in a hotel ironing out details. Then there was a whole helicopter of Isak. Apparently he was on that traveling to Liverpool to do some secret medical, but can't be secret if you know about it and if everyone now knows about it. So it's no longer a secret. But yeah. The saga looks like it's come to an end now, bro. Or coming to an end. Where you at now, man?
Do you know what? I love the fact that there's like reports that people are in hotel rooms and helicopters are flying about. Like we need to dramatize the hell out of this because if this is going to be a British record transfer fee and he's coming to our club and we rate him as highly as we do, we've got to soak up all the possible drama that we can. Like the announcement video has got to be great. when he first plays for Liverpool, first puts on the shirt, plays his first game. We've got to soak everything we possibly can out of this because the journalists have done that.
How would
Journalists have.
How would you make his video?
It's got to be. We sort of spoke briefly about it the other day. It's got to be a little dig at Newcastle and something about time and waiting, or we've got our business in order. It's you guys, or something about the fact that we're spending money now. Just have just subtle little cash falling in the background or something. Just
that's subtle.
What? A screen in the background or behind just hashtags flying up. When Newcastle fans, Liverpool fans, them saying you're not going.
I don't know. Just have
Steven Gerrard shopping in IKEA, bro, asking for help, and Isak's the one who turns around.
No. I've got it. Oh, hey, that one's cold, right? We could also so much talk about this war chest, right? We should basically put a war chest in the AXA training ground, right? They find the keys, they unlock it, they find this money, and then they just put the lid down, and then just them shots where they just move people are moving by, but the war chest is stationary.
Hey, Liverpool, these are good ideas. I feel like you need to listen to the guys. And
it'd be cold, man.
Take some of this on board.
It'd be so cold, bro.
Yeah, it's subtleties, when he signs a contract. Don't make it that day. Make it 2 weeks earlier or a month earlier or something on the small print at the bottom. Just little things, man. You might as well
transition exactly what you both said. Do the war chest, you're flicking through players, and then a shot goes to IKEA Gerrard in there. I'm thinking to buy IKEA, and then Isak comes. No, don't have to buy IKEA. You can buy me.
Yeah.
Boom, and then shift over and
or even a little flick through, Windows, the Windows file structure, transfer, shortlist, strikers, and then there's only Isak there. There's no other players on the list.
These are real good. Liverpool might need to hire us as a team. I feel like that.
Yeah, let's be honest. Let's be honest. They're gonna put him in an Uber Black, and he's just gonna step onto the train.
And then he's gonna have the
and he's gonna have. We've never seen Isak in jeans in our life, but for that picture, he'll have blue jeans on with the Liverpool top. They always do, blood.
I'd even say, on the contract, just have it say 150M and then just subscribe through it, and then the lesser fee that it's going to end up being. Just do stupid stuff.
Hooks. Big up Hooks, man. I hear you, man. You Arsenal man over there scared of this signing. Also,
you could have a magpie sit next to him and he dodged it. It's like, I'm glad I dodged that.
What are we saying? A live bird carrying the dead magpie in the background.
Listen, that would actually. But the thing is, who is it? Is it Burnley? Burnley
always kill theirs, bro.
Yeah, bro. They've always got something. Listen, I know it's all silly and what the guys are saying, but these are good ideas. I think it will just, as Cav said, it just adds a bit to the drama kind of behind it, and it's a little bit fun. Do you know what I mean? Towards the player that we've just look at Arsenal. They unveiled my man this was Madrid. I was like, rah, in Madrid, they bring you out, bare fans to come and see you.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Bro, we should do the same thing.
He points over his shoulder because we got the Arsenal ops in there. They go, I'm going here. Nah, I'm going here.
Yeah, that celebration, you can use that as well. There's so many things.
We had some dark. Man, you had some dark ones. They had Pogba and Stormzy.
Bro, that was
Pogba. But then they had the Sanchez, which didn't work out for them. He was on the piano. Remember?
I thought that was good though. I actually thought that was good. I didn't know he could play the piano. I was like,
it was hindsight though. He wasn't.
Obviously,
no. But you know what though? The thing is, it's a record transfer fee, right? To our club, we don't spend this kind of money. I know we did with Florian Wirtz, so let's celebrate it, right? Hopefully the player works out, which I'm sure we will, but we can't control that bit. We can control this bit though, and the production around it all. So why don't we? And when I think in today's day and age, the fact that we've got such access to everything that's going on because of the journalists and the insights and social media now, the club are still the business. The club are still the people that pay the money, sign the players up to the contract. So this for me is a way of fighting back in the social media space, as sort of taking control back and saying, nah, this is our signing. You might have spoke about him for 3 months, but he's our player. And this is our announcement video. And this is our introduction for Isak. So I want them to do it well. I really want them to do it well.
Yeah, it can't be boring, bro. Not with what the saga, big up to Morris, not with the saga that's been going on around the player. We need to make sure this is crazy big stuff where people are like, raw, I can't believe Liverpool.
You see Javi Simmons to Spurs, like, man did a
I
whole
saw
thing.
it.
I said, bro, I need time for Isak.
Even the Kudus one was cold as
Enz,
well.
I've got it. The stick on the windows idea, right? Shortlist strikers, Newcastle strikers, right? And then it can be Ekitike, Isak, and then all the names that they're linked to in the trash can underneath.
You're trying to start beef with a whole next club.
Yeah, for no reason, Cap. Like, we don't need that.
Superseded folder, Nicholas Jackson, and all the rest. Sean Larson, main targets. Yeah, we took both of them. We didn't even go to the subfolders. We just took the first two.
Right. Oh man, someone just hacking into Newcastle transfer list. Nah, we don't want him. We want him. Yeah, and we'll take Isak as well.
Someone, you know what? If Liverpool don't do it, I'm pretty sure one of these guys on the timeline, they can easily
Paddy
make
Power
that same video you're
decent.
talking about. Paddy Power, that's it.
Paddy Power will definitely do it.
They'll definitely.
Nah, it's crazy, man. But look, it could be. What does it mean for our boy Ekitike, though, boys? Because he's hit the ground running, 3 goals, 1 assist. The guys on Copies tried to do a combined 11, and how the crazy Arsenal fans, big up to Hooks, but these men tried to shoehorn Saka onto the left hand side because they couldn't get him on the right, because obviously Salah is superior to him. So they tried to say he's still the best even left winger in the Prem. I was saying, you're not shoehorning him, when he's a right winger, to try and get him in. No, it's not about, we're trying to do this, we're trying to just shoehorn players into positions they don't play. You want to put him on the left, put him left back. That's where he started off his career. Put him there.
What
does it mean for Ekitike, though?
You see, Ekitike turned up training late yesterday. Yeah, need to watch this guy's ego, because I don't know, it strikes me as the sort of character that's settled quickly and knows he's good. No, I'm seeing so much content online about him buying his new Ferrari and everything else like this. I thought, wow, this guy is settled quick. But he settled into the side quick, and I think it's a great headache to have as to what striker you pick. But my stance remains the same. If Ekitike performs tomorrow like he has done in the other games, Isak can hold bench. You have to earn that spot, because Ekitike is doing everything that you kind of want from a forward. Now, I know Newcastle, slightly different fixture, the way it panned out, because not too many, I think Slot spoke about it, not too many of our forwards got many touches. But he took the one chance he got. And in every other game, he has actually shown us that he can do it the other side of it, which is bringing other people into play and work hard for the team. So I don't think you can take that player out of the side now just to get your new signing in, no matter how much he costs. So I think the way it will pan out is, if Isak joins, is he'll need a bit of time to sort of train with the first team squad, get fit. And so that will maybe take us up to the international break anyway. Wait, the international break's after Arsenal, isn't it?
I think it's after Arsenal.
Okay. Yeah, so look, Ekitike plays tomorrow, international break. I don't know, maybe Isak could get shot by that next fixture. So, but for me, I'm keeping Ekitike in, and Isak comes on as a sub, and then you just see how you go. Slot assesses it in training and whatnot.
Yeah, it'd be interesting though. What about you, G?
I mean, I would start Isak regardless of what Ekitike is doing, but I agree with Cav. Sorry, like, I agree, Ekitike is obviously doing his job, but you spend that kind of money, you better figure out a way that they can both play. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there just needs to be a way that you figure that part out. But also as well, remember, we didn't know that Ekitike, he probably obviously we signed Isak already, Ekitike might not even have had this chance regardless. So I don't know how this is going to kind of work. We need 2 strikers anyway, so clearly he's got a job. He's got a plan for both of these players. Do you get what I'm saying? So I would start Isak regardless, and Ekitike can just figure out just another way of playing, either on the left or just come off the bench, really and truly. I think you have to play. You spend this kind of money, like, I just think everything surrounding it, without giving him the chance, I don't know if it's unfair both ways. Without giving Isak a chance, you spend that kind of money, he has to play. But then Ekitike has played well in 3 games or 2 games or 3 games actually. So I don't know, man. Slot, you're the guy who makes all the money. Figure it out some way. But for me, I'm starting Isak regardless.
Sav, what about you? I know you got to head out soon.
XTK Bloody's got to start, bro. That's all I know. Yeah. I don't know what. Once he starts at the club, bro, you get me. His ass blood. You get me. He can do what he wants. His our property blood. You know what I mean? Yes, master and that, bro. So I don't care. He's what? Heck, he's got a start blood. That's Cal's right, man. Use the international break, get him up to speed and stuff like that. They'll probably bring him in like that anyway. Just because so late in the transfer window, and we don't know. Well, Oslots fans don't know what he's been doing away. They say he's been training personally. It's completely different to training with a team. And then get up to speed with whatever the shit tactics Slot's got. So we'll have to figure that out too, man. But I don't really want to throw any of our players in the bin because yes, we haven't been performing very well, but I mean, not even trying to diss Salah again, but the attackers apart from Salah have, so why would I be moving them out the team? It doesn't make any sense. But I'm conscious that if you just break the record for a signing, once he's fit, he's going into the team somehow.
Once he's fit.
You know that's going to happen, whether we like it or not. That's what's going to happen. So, and yes, what G said, that's what Slot earns money for, isn't it? As a manager, you got to figure it out. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll figure it out some way. And all of us, someone is not going to like it in the team and the fans, bro, because we've all got players that we think should be playing in a certain position. But I don't think any of us will moan if they all got onto the pitch somehow and it works, bro. Then let's just enjoy the football.
Yeah, exactly.
Facts. I'll shift it.
I'll go out before you go into the next topic.
Big up, bro.
Big up, man.
Big up.
Nice one, Sam.
Cool, bro. I'll change it to this one. 1 second, lads. There we go.
And can I ask you a question then?
Of course you can, bro.
Do you trust, if Isak comes in, do you trust Slot to get those decisions right?
Yes and no. I think obviously he earned that trust because obviously he brought the Premier League back to us last season, and I thought his tactics at times, obviously, some games were really, really boring. But then you realize what he was trying to implement in terms of the style, trying to starve the opposition. You know, if we have the ball, they don't have the ball, it means they can't score. And then we figured out ways to win games of football. We played some really good football in moments as well. But I feel like now when you get in two calibers of strikers where I'm looking at, they're both strikers. And obviously Isak we've seen a lot more of because he's been in the Premier League and he's been doing it against the top teams as well. But Ekitike's come in and you can see off the bat that this player he's a baller, bro. He can score goal. He just looks like he's one. I'm not going to use the word like clinical, but he looks like he's so assured of himself when he's taking opportunities and taking chances. So how do I trust him to figure out a shape or a formation to get them both in? I don't know, because that means one of the midfielders might have to not play then and just be on the bench and then get rotated in, because it means we're Ekitike on the left now. I don't want him on the left. Yeah, do we play two up front, 4-4-2? Is that maybe what we have in mind? I honestly don't know. So it's yes and a no. Maybe I'm sitting on the fence with it, but
yeah,
I don't.
If I'm being an optimist, right? When we took Ekitike off and we seem to have gone into like a 4-4-2, although it looks very disjointed and you could probably say it looks like any formation, but it does kind of look like the two wingers go a little bit more narrow and it looks a little bit like maybe a 4-2-2-2. I mean, if you're really trying to be optimistic, maybe he's planning for life with Isak and he's thinking that have the two forwards up top and then Gakpo and Salah in behind, and then a double pivot with whichever midfielders. And maybe he's just like experimenting a little bit with the formation before the player arrives. Hand on heart, I don't think that's the case. I just think it's the fact that when Ekitike comes off the pitch, there isn't another striker to go on, and that's just how it ends up looking. But maybe he's trying to forward plan a little bit with that, perhaps. And I think there might be games where you see them both on the pitch in that kind of style. Even if it's a backs to the wall, throw the kitchen sink at it kind of period of the game where we need to get a goal, and he thinks, well, let's just get all the forwards on the pitch in the possible way. But Isak is a striker and Ekitike is a striker who's been playing as a striker all season. Let's go to a 4-4-2 and just put the two guys up top. Maybe he's planning for that. Who knows? As a sort of option C in his tactics. But I'm a little bit torn because I think from what we've seen from Slot last season, it looked like he was a real man of detail, and that he
Yeah.
could kind of watch a game in the first half an hour, 45 minutes, and figure out what he needed to do. And then he made changes, either stylistic, not stylistic, but tactically, or with substitutions in second half of games. And that worked really well. So I think in that respect, yeah, I trust that he'll learn in game and that it will come out with a win because we'll change something in the game. But I'm not fully confident yet that the tactics we start off with are always the right ones, shall we say. And I thought the Newcastle performance was terrible. But then I took a little bit of a step back when I watched his press conference, because he was talking about how they were trying to plan for Newcastle's approach, but in moments of the game, trying to break the game down. So where I was always looking at it going, we need to pass better, keep the ball on the ground, keep it away from them, keep it in the wide areas rather than in the center of the park, and thinking, well, that's what we do for 90 minutes. Obviously, Slot's looking at it going, well, they're going to go long ball for the early period of the game. So let's soak that up. Let's be defensive. Let's be tight. And then when they drop off, we'll then keep the possession of the ball for that period of the game, and then come out the second half, see if we can keep the ball again, if not reserve. And I think he approached that game thinking, I know they're going to do this in this game at some point. It's a case of how long are they going to do it for. So I'm accommodate that for that period of time. And when it looks like that's dropping off because they're not getting success, then we'll revert back to a slightly different tactic. And I think we sort of seen him try and do 2-3 things in that game. So that's when I sort of thought, actually, maybe I'm looking at this too simplistically, trying to come up with one tactic that we go with every game and that wins us the league. And actually, Slot's thinking more about, I'm willing to concede a battle in this particular fixture for a certain period of time. So I'm going to go with this tactics for the first 20 minutes. And then with the same players on the pitch, I'm going to switch it up when that period ends. And then we're going to get control and stuff. And I just think, obviously, really early days, only seen 2 games. I don't think that's particularly worked that well. Although you could say we've managed to find goals whilst not looking particularly good and winning games. So you could argue the other way. But I think bringing it back to if we sign Isak, I think that he'll probably go with Isak because he has to in the initial period of games. But there might be games where he might look at it and think, well, Ekitike brings different qualities in this particular fixture. I'm saying, like, let's say we play Man City, and you feel like your forward needs to, for the first half, Man City are going to try to get on the ball, control it, and they're going to come out quick in the game. You might think, well, I'm going to put Ekitike in there, even if it's for 45, because he naturally drops deeper. He naturally holds the ball up better. He naturally brings players into play. And because he's dropping deeper, he's in the center of the park. So we're overloading the midfield areas a little bit more. And then the second period of the game, where the Etihad quietens down and it's 0-0, whatever, you bring on Isak when there's more open ground to run into and things like that. So maybe we need to stop thinking about it from game to game and who's going to play the next, what striker is going to pick for the next 10 games, and think of it more as what is the fixture and what period of the game is he going to want to bring these players into. And I think if he gets that right, then we'll win the league, because that's the sort of, I'm trying to think the way he thinks. I'm trying to read the tactics and his approach, and I think that's what he's trying to do. And I think, like I say, I think whether he's successful or not, it remains to be seen. I'm still a bit unsure. I'd like for our team just to play one way and win like Man City do, right? Byline, pull it back, score goals, easy, done. But actually, I think it's going to be so much more flexible than that. But like I say, if he does get it right game by game and we find ways of winning, we might not see the best football, but we might see every single player contributing, and it could take us to a league title. So I'm still on the fence personally, but I'm quite excited by the fact that we could have a really good coach on our hands with these players.
Nah, listen, there were some great points there. I was also thinking about what Arteta said in terms of how much he rates Arne Slot. And he was just saying he just figured out ways to win last season. So maybe he's just trying to find ways this season where he can, in moments in games, if we're planning for the first 20, first 60, first 90, how do we need to play, what their strengths are, the oppositions, and then what the weaknesses are, and when are we going to go and try and exploit those weaknesses. And when they get into those strives in the game where they're utilizing their strengths, how do we then deal with that? And I think that's the problem we have at the moment. It hasn't clicked how to to switch on properly when we're defending their strengths. So Newcastle would have been the long ball, getting balls into the box. We need to defend that better because we nullified them on the ground. And we're watching back a couple of their goals they scored against us in the past. It was like, I remember last season, Bruno Guimaraes like turning in the midfield, driving, and then slotting a ball into Isak, which he just shifts past Verge and then smashes it in the top corner. Where this it was just more getting crosses in. He was like, well, we can deal with that. As long as you're in the right positions, we can deal with those crosses. It's not like they're trying to play through us. And then the Bournemouth one was, we knew that they were going to try and do the transition stuff. Like, how do we set up when they're going to utilize their strength, which is the counter-attack stuff? How can we nullify that? Because we were bopping the ball around really, really well until the transitional moments when there was a little sloppy pass and then we got caught out. And looking at the Arsenal game as well, that's something similar. Obviously, Arsenal are better on the ball, and they'll take risks. They'll take their opportunities when they get it. And so how do we nullify those moments when they're in the insurgency and they're on the ball and playing? How do we set up? And as I think we'll be better defensively against Arsenal, but will we give up a sloppy goal? Possibly, but we have enough. You're right. We're not playing too great, but we still found ways to score 4 goals and 3 goals. And I was looking at what big up to Ricky, what he said in the chat here. G, I'll go to you, man. 3-5-2 is the formation I've been well, is that the one I've been pushing, or is it more the 2-10? So instead of the 2, so it's like 3-5, but then we got the 2 10s and the 1 striker. I don't know if I don't know what you're thinking, bro. Because I feel like the players we have, if we switch to that, I think that will cook teams, you know. But that's just me trying to do too much thinking and overthinking and too much tactical stuff.
No, you're not. You're not. I feel like we have the players, you know what I mean, to play that. Just quickly to what Cav was saying there. Do you think it's like it's the unpredictable kind of chaos that could actually work in our favor with the way that he's trying to change it, you know, or like during the games, as you said, he's trying to do, okay, for, I don't know, the first 20 minutes, let's play like this. For the next, up until our time, we play like this. When we come out after halftime, let's play like this. Do you feel like he's trying to create that kind of unpredictability so that teams don't really know what Liverpool are going to do regardless? So we might look sloppy as a whole, like throughout the game in periods, but then, as you said, we can still score goals. So clearly, he's doing something right, clearly, because we're obviously winning the games, but there is going to be the kind of unpredictability and the sloppiness behind it, because it's not a rigid tactic of 4-3-3, as what you said, the Man City 4-3-3 or whatever it is they do, cutbacks, Haaland scores 100 goals, blah, blah, blah. Like, everyone knows exactly what they're going to do. You just can't stop it. Here, maybe he's trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to give him a bit of an out here, but I was just trying to think.
Yeah.
You know,
I think the reason I brought it up is because we talk about our tactics all the time, and we talk about the players all the time, what they offer to us. And I'm really trying to hear it from the horse's mouth. I'm really trying to listen to what Slot's saying and thinking, what is he thinking? What is he trying to do? And I think I do think that it's a case of he doesn't want to be disrespectful of the sides he's coming up against. I think he really acknowledges where their strengths are, and he's trying to accommodate where possible. And maybe that stems from us not being, we're not a Pep Guardiola side. Our tactic cannot be tiki-taka, football on the ground, that is going to win 10 times out of 10. Because to do that, you need Pep Guardiola. To do that, you need the technical footballers that are bought in 100% to that idea and that identity. We don't have that. We've got players, and I'm not going to disrespect the Man City players when I say this, but we've got players that offer a lot more. Gakpo's our left winger, but he's very tall and physical as well, and strong. You know, he can do the short, intricate play, but he can also run with the ball a lot and cut in and want to shoot and all these things. You've got Salah, who is always going to stay at the pitch, hogs that right side, but he wants to play through balls, however far they are, whatever space he needs to put it into. He's not going to want to solely do the short, intricate play. He's going to want to put crosses into the back stick and things like that. He wants to create the assists. He's not too interested in the small little build-up, intricate passes to get there. And then you've got we used to have Trent, who would play raking long balls to get your striker in on goal or your winger in on goal. So we've got the way that we've been built up over the period of time that Klopp was here, because that's the majority of the squad still, right, is bringing players in that are so versatile and offer so much. And then it's a case of homing in what you want them to do, but not lose sight of that flexibility so you can call upon their other strengths at times. And I just think we've sort of landed in this position with Slot whereby I've got all this quality, but it's varied quality. So instead of trying to go with one tactic and either some players work and get rid of those that don't, it's a case of let's use everybody in different periods of the game, between different periods of the season, depending on what fit, who we're coming up against, and it's gonna be so varied. But like I say, if you get it right, then you're really going to accomplish something because the quality's there. You get the tactics right in the right moments. The quality's there in the players to score you the goals and defending. I just think it comes from a place of Slot just working with what he's currently got and also being respectful for the teams that he's coming up against. And look, I didn't watch him with his last side, so I don't know if that was the approach he took there. But this is the Premier League, and every side you come up against has quality, as we've seen. Even Bournemouth can score 2 against us just with one half decent player. So I think he's just kind of not losing sight of that, and he's just thinking, I'm not going to build a squad now this summer where I'm going to play one way and that's it. I'm gonna build a squad, and I'm going to be flexible in my tactics to navigate my way through the season. And to be fair to him, with the defender in Virgil van Dijk and the goalkeeper in Alisson and Salah up top that gets goals and assists, and the other quality that's around, you'd kind of say, well, yeah, sound. I kind of get that. But the bad thing, the worrying thing for him is if he doesn't get it right, it could all come crumbling down for him. That's the thing, because fans want to know what the squad's identity is, what the playing style is, what are we, how do we look when we turn up, and we might not get that answer this season. We might just look so different all the time. But if we're winning games, I suppose that will be enough for us. And if we're winning trophies, that will be enough for us. But I'm not sure I've understood yet what Slot's identity is, and that might be because there just isn't one. It's just about being adaptable.
No, for real. Big up to everyone in the chat as well. Big up to Honesty. 220 in the chat across both platforms, over 400 people. So if you can, smash a like. Let's do it, man. Great stream, lads. No, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you subscribing as well to the channel as well. We do, you know what? Did go back and watch a few of the final games as well. And then that's what we know. We need fullbacks, because this brother was substituting the fullbacks after 60 minutes because he needed them to do pretty much the winger's job. And then he had the 2 inside 10s, which was how we built. And then he had his striker doing striker stuff. So should be interesting to see how we play going forward using that system, man. But also as well with Marc Guehi, there's a bid officially went in yesterday as well. So, but I did listen to their press conference as well, and he was saying basically that we don't want to lose Marc Guehi. He doesn't want to lose him. He doesn't. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because one hand he's got a year left. So either you lose him on a free and leave him there. And I think Guehi's the type of player, he wants to come to Liverpool, obviously, from the reports from Fabrizio and stuff like that. But I feel like he's just like, if I don't go this season, I can go next. Like, it's not a problem, because I know next season no one can kind of stand in my way and say I'm not for sale and all that stuff. But at the same time, I've heard, that the owner, and he's saying, look, we don't want to let him go on a free, so we need to sell him. So I think if Liverpool, if the bid is right and they think that it's good, I think they'll just accept it, and he will be a Liverpool player going into the final hours of the transfer window. But no, it's just interesting, man, because these are the 2 key areas, lads. I was looking at that we definitely need to kind of fix before, because once everyone's like back fit, which pretty much we got a healthy squad now. I don't think there's anyone injured. I can't think of anyone injured at the moment. I think the team as a whole is really strong, but it's just where I haven't been able to see the bench. It was 1 week, Gravenberch having a baby, so he had to miss it. Then he had suspension. Next week, McAllister's having a baby, so then he's missing the game as well. So then you can't really get a good scope of what the bench really looks like and who's there to then really assess what the squad looks like. Because now Bradley's back, Gomez is back. So Frimpong's the only one out, isn't he? Frimpong's probably the only one out. So then maybe the bench, my perception of what the team looks like probably changes once I can see everyone within the squad going in. And then you obviously, if you add the Guehi into it and then Alexander Isak to it as well, it makes the team look a hell of a lot stronger as well. But
yeah, do you know? Look, let's add Stefan Bajcetic in there as well, because he's somebody that I just wanting to get back fit and get playing, because I think this kid's so good. But I think part of that ends is like, if McAllister comes back into the side tomorrow, which I expect he will, Curtis Jones drops to the bench. But you might then look at Curtis Jones on the bench and think, well, he played last week and he did an all right job. So your perception of him is much higher. You see it as a stronger bench because he's on it. I thought Harvey Elliott came onto the pitch last against Newcastle, and didn't play hardly any time and didn't really do much. But even in the build up to the Rio goal, you could kind of see that he wanted to do Harvey Elliott things, which is get on the ball and play them intricate, sharp passes into midfield or forward to try and speed up the game. Get control of it, get control of the ball, and get the ball moving. And so we need to see Slot utilize these players more, so we can see them more, so we can appreciate them more, and then we'll be like, okay, actually the bench ain't as bad as we now see. But the difficult we've got is that he's seemingly making subs really late. So we're not seeing, like, I know Chiesa comes on and scores the goal, but you see Chiesa on the bench. I'm not sure what you guys think, but I'm thinking, not really a game changer there. But really, if he was coming on in 60th minute and we're able to see him a bit more, we might be convinced otherwise. The same with Harvey Elliott. We know he's a good player, but we don't see him play. So it's like we just when I'm reading down the names on the bench, I just skip him. I don't even register that he's on the bench. Yeah. But actually, I should be looking at him thinking, no, he's a really good player. And actually, when he comes on, he actually makes an impact. Not necessarily getting goals and assists, but in our overall play with that short, sharp passing. But I can only convince myself of that if we see him. And that's down to Slot, is making sure that he's using these players. So I actually think the squad's a lot stronger than perhaps people think. Because I know a lot of people have said what you've said there, Enz, is that the bench is not looking particularly strong. Well, actually, there's players on the bench that have quality. We're just not convinced of it because we're not seeing it enough. That's the thing. So I would like to see these players used a bit more. Endo can come on a bit earlier and shut up shop a bit earlier if need be and stuff. And then you feel a little bit more confident in these players and you recognise that the squad is actually probably stronger than we think. But going back to it, I still think the two positions we've spoken about are crucial for us winning anything this season. And Marc Guehi, everything makes sense with bringing him in. I read that what Glasner said about we can't lose him now. I'm not going to lie, my sort of heart dropped a little bit. I thought this was a done deal. And the sort of nature of the past couple of weeks in this transfer window for us is always been along the lines of, if other clubs can't let them go, we won't get them. And that's been the Isak story so far with Newcastle not being able to get strikers. I just hope that's not now the case with Guehi, where they think we've only got a few days, we can't get another defender in, we're going to have to keep him.
That's what Glasner said. He said literally we're not going to be able to get the quality or level of player in the next 3 days that requires to replace Marc Guehi. But G, what about you, man? And before I ask you, because I want to ask you about the Konate Guehi, because I keep seeing, bro, even now people are throwing Konate in the bin. So once he comes in, Guehi's going to be the guy. But big up to Frenchie for the super chat. It says that Ekitike is good, but Isak is a certified gunman. I know he's cooked in the Premier League, but as I said, man, the skill sets of this Ekitike youth, man, is not normal. Like, he looks so assured, like, in any opportunity he gets. But that's why I wanted to see us give him more chance. He got one shot off in the game against Newcastle, and that's the one he scored. One shot, one chance, one goal, bro. But look, Guehi looks like he's going to be on his way. I think he will get it done. I think he'll just be out of Glasner's hands. I think he'll just be one of those ones where it's like, bro, it doesn't make business sense. You're going to we'll just have to try and patch it maybe till January. But we can't afford to let this caliber of player leave on a free. It makes stupid business sense to just do that, just because. But as a coach, he's like, I don't care about the business. I need the players to win games of football. And he makes my squad a lot stronger than it makes it. And he was talking about like clean sheets, They've only conceded 1 goal in the Prem, and also they've only conceded the 1 goal in the qualifiers, and we need him for the group stage because a lot of our game is based off around how we defend. And if he's speaking so highly of him, that's the reason why Liverpool want him. But the other guy that we've had for years, and obviously he's got 1 year left on his deal as well, is Konate. But the fans want to throw Konate in a bin, bro, to replace him with this guy straight away. Talk to me, bro. What's the mindset? Why is the mindset like this?
Big shiny new toy in it. Like, it's just that typical thing. And once we, because nobody was really, and Guehi's been good, like this good for time, but no one was talking about Guehi on the same level as Konate. Remember, we watched Konate Champions League finals and that. We've seen him play for France, captain France. And again, no disrespect to Guehi, I think he's a good player, but I don't think anybody would have had him on the same level. But for some reason now, everyone's just kind of thrown Konate. Yeah, that's just fans being fans because you can't really help that. But yeah, I think, I don't know, man. I think what you said though, like, Guehi's not gonna kick up a fuss. He ain't gonna do what Isak's doing. Like, he ain't gonna just stop coming training, and do you know what I mean? So I think he'll be calm with staying. I don't think he cares edgeways. Like, he's like, if you can sort it, great. If you can't, I'll just stay. Because as you said, I heard Manchester City want him as well the other day. I see that they've potentially tried to sneak in. So I'm like, Guehi's one of those where you probably wanted him to, I think he just make a bit of noise, but he's not going to do that. Like, that's just not the way he does things. And that's fine. I've got no problem with that. But I think, as you said, it's going to be out of Glasner's hands, man, because the money is going to be too good. They're going to just need to just patch it up until, as you said, January, end of season. Hope that the new centre-back that they've got in, he can just hit the ground running. But it's going to be very difficult. You're talking about your captain. He's the equivalent of what we have in Virgil. Do you get what I'm saying? Obviously not ability-wise, but if we lose Virgil, you're like, fuck. You've got good defenders. You've still got Konate. You've still got this guy, whatever, cool, but you're still losing your main guy. And I think that's how Palace are going to look at it. So that's why they just want to be compensated enough to be able to at least go out there and then, patch it up. But I like Guehi, man. Yeah. I think I'm more with you. I prefer if we played a different formation because I feel like the team have the players to play in a different formation. And I'd just rather see that as opposed to seeing what we're seeing now, because I'm just conscious, and I understand you need a squad and all of this stuff. I fully get that. And we saw Manchester City do it, rotate Sane, Mahrez, Sterling, Jesus, Aguero, like they all just rotated. But you saw after about a season or two, that man were trying to leave. Sterling, I ain't playing. Mahrez, I ain't playing. Sane, I ain't playing. Like, eventually you just end up saying, well, I can do this for a year, but I'm going to need to leave and play football. I'm just conscious of that with Liverpool, because what do we have? Konate, Guehi, bro. If you try and rotate that, I don't know how that ends. To me, you're gonna then start pushing Konate the other way if you start rotating him, and he's not gonna want to extend, because then he's gonna feel like you're not respecting my value when you can always play Virgil. I want to always play, and I get that you've got a battle, but they're at a stage now where it's like, bro, I'm starting every week. Like, why am I now rotating with this guy? Doesn't really make sense. Guehi doesn't really mind coming up a level, but Konate might not see it like that. And that's just the only thing I'm conscious about at this moment in time. But for us as fans, having that kind of depth, yeah, it's calm. Like, who doesn't, you know what I mean? You can rotate Virgil, you can rotate Konate, it's not really a big deal. But for players, I'm just conscious in a World Cup year, they're going to be looking at these things and it might just kick up a bit of a fuss potentially in the future. So we'll see.
I think for Guehi though, like it's a case of moving to a Champions League club and a club that's going to compete for that title and also compete for the Premier League and everything, domestic cups as well. So it's an opportunity for him now to get trophies, and get some silverware. I know Palace have done well of late in that respect, but nobody really can convince themselves that they're going to go and win a trophy again this season. So he's proved he's a good player. He's proved he's a good person, a good leader. He's loyal. But is it a period now in his career where I think he needs to be thinking about going and winning trophies? And Liverpool's a great place to be to do that and contribute. So I think that it should be a no-brainer for him to join Liverpool, especially with the Konate situation, and thinking, well, there's probably a very easy pathway for me into this side here if he moves on, because I'm the next best thing there. Remains to be seen what Leone's like, but he can step in there. For Liverpool, who knows whether that strengthens their arm in the Konate negotiation? I don't know. You can look at it either way. Konate can say, well, you've got an option now, so you can let me go. Or Liverpool may say, well, we don't need to offer you so much because we've got Guehi in the door. They won't say it as such, but it will be kind of the unspoken negotiation, if you like. So that's important. And also, we can never lose sight of the fact that, yes, Virgil's amazing, but we're competing for 4 trophies this season. We're going to play 60+ games. There is going to come a period of time where our thoughts need to turn to, how do we get Virgil to play until he's 40? What period of his career and what season do we start to think about, letting him rest for a few games? And at the minute, without signing a defender, I don't think that's possible. So that's a real concern. Is that we don't really have, unless you stick in Gravenberch in there or you drop in Endo in for a game, we don't have any room this season to give Virgil a chance to rest, really. And I think that we, after a summer of spending so much money, I think that we should probably have addressed that, to be honest. So Liverpool's success, I'm sure you guys will agree, if Liverpool are going to win anything this season, Virgil has to play, right?
Yeah.
Majority of the games. He has to play, he has to lead, he has to be around. I would say for the next 2-3 years, if Liverpool want to win anything, Virgil probably needs to be around. So it's how you make sure that he's still around and playing enough football at the level he does. And for me, that's about making sure that we give him the rest in certain periods of the season. For certain, might even be 1 game. But 1 game means he can have, 2 weeks rest maybe. And unless you've got the players that can step in and do that, which I believe Guehi would be able to, just in his temperament and the way that he plays both sides, I don't think you've got that option this season. So the Konate factor is one thing, but again, the Virgil thing is as well. So for me, I would just like, and I know it's business and it's money and values, but I would just like Liverpool to go 10 mil above asking if you need to. Like it's a need position right now, and time's running out. And I know that Palace are probably in 2 minds, thinking, what do we do? Looking at other players, can we get other people in time? Can we afford to lose him? Back him into a corner with a really strong bid.
The problem you have though is as I said, man, Liverpool have to look like they've done great business. That I feel like we've got into that arrogance level now, where it has to be, the headline has to be, Liverpool signed one of the best English defenders with 1 year left on his deal for like 35 million. Like, that's in my mind. That's what I see. It can't be Liverpool has paid 55 million for Marc Guehi in his last year of his contract, and then say, for instance, he comes in, doesn't hit the ground running in his first game. That's not the headline. They'd rather it being low, so the pressure is off of him, and then he can come in seamlessly and just fit into the squad. That's where I feel like we're at the moment. It feels like we always have to be the guys in control. Even with like the Diaz deal, like he left us and the headline was, our Liverpool was in full control of the deal. We got everything we wanted to get out of the deal. I'm like, yeah, well, no, they wanted the player and they got the player. So I don't know how we got the best thing out the deal. The player's gone. Do you know what I mean? That's what I feel like where we're at the moment as a recruitment team. Because like we just have to be the ones, the head dogs and everything.
Yeah, you're quite right. And they probably, there's the people doing these deals, Richard Hughes and stuff, are probably thinking, well, we're Liverpool, we're champions. We're putting up a respective amount of value, and the player wants to come to us, so we'll just sit back. What more have we got to do, kind of thing. And that's a real strong arm to play, and that much I believe is all true. But at the same time, these other teams, like Palace in this instance, also have some cards in this game, because they have the player under a current contract. Now that contract will run out in the summer, but he's currently under contract, so they have to agree to the deal. And for them, they're looking at it thinking, he's not just an important player, he's a key player. He's the captain. Talk about clean sheets, they don't happen without Guehi there. So he's not just a player that maybe moves him a couple of positions up in the league. No. He could be the difference between them fighting, just above relegation or being in the top half. That's how important he is for them. So they may be looking at it from a point of view of, we could get 35 million from now, but if he keeps us in the league and he pushes us right up and we get maybe even Europa Conference, we could maybe see that money back. in over the period of 3-4 years because of the revenue money that we're getting and everything else. So all these things will be weighed up, which is why I say I think Liverpool probably needs to try where you can limit their time to think by putting a bid on the table that's strong. You know, because right now we've got a few days, and Palace are going to be looking at players, weighing up. Well, if he leaves right now, we don't finish in the top half. There's got no chance at you know, Europa League or Europa Conference, whatever it's called. If we get into them competitions, we could maybe make 10-20 million through being in there. Plus, we could sign up with players to a more attractive proposition. Plus, we've got more ticket sales because we're playing more games. Because at the minute, they don't, you know, they won't be playing in Europe. Whereas if they're playing Europe for the next 3-4 years, they'll get more match day tickets. So they're weighing it all up. If I was Liverpool, and this is completely sort of out of touch, probably what actually happens, I'd just put a bid in, 50 million, stop you thinking, there you go. And they'll think, we've got time to work all this out. We're going to have to either accept this now or they're going away. And that, I think, possibly could get the deal over the line, which obviously is what I think Liverpool need, because we need that depth in that position. So I like him, though. I've seen a lot more. Obviously, watched Guehi for years with Palace and Swansea, but like I've been seeing a lot more sort of off-pitch content from him, and he seems like a really good character. He seems like the perfect fit for what we have.
We're trying to do, innit?
Mm.
Well, but we talk about key areas then, G, right? I think we need to get at least one attacker, but in my head, I'm like, we need two. I feel like we need another winger that could potentially play across the front three. So whether that's ideally left or right, but obviously I don't want to stop, Rio's pathway. But also, there's no real backup for Salah. I don't know if that's in his contract throughout his whole tenure at Liverpool. Don't sign another right winger and just shoehorn players over there. And I think the defense. I will ask you then, G. What's the key areas, bro? We need to make sure we got 3 days left. Is it just the two? Is it more than two? You thinking? And chat, I'd love to know as well. Like in terms of we got 3 days. Ideally, 3, 2, 1 position. What's the positions you think we definitely need to lock up?
I think one attacker is enough. I don't think you need two. I don't think I just don't see like I don't think you need a Salah backup because you have players you can play there anyway. So Frimpong will just play right wing. Chiesa can play there. Elliott can play there. I feel like because of the play that you're talking about, like there's no backup for Lamine Yamal on the right side. Like you will put someone there, but he doesn't have a backup, so to speak. And I feel like Salah's the same way. Like you don't find backups for these kind of players. You just get players you can just fill in. You know what I mean? Fill in the gaps, kind of thing. So yeah, one more attacker. Isak. Once you get that, I think you're good. Liverpool score goals anyway, so that's not really the place that stresses me. You need another centre back, I guess, because of just numbers. I need a midfielder. Like I feel like Liverpool are just missing a trick with getting a midfielder, and I just think you're noticing it more and more. With yes, I get it. McAllister's not been there for game here, and Gravenberch's the same. Yeah, but nothing's really changed. It doesn't look any different with either of them in there, and they're two good players, by the way. Like they are two good players. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me, I would love Liverpool to sign a midfielder. I just think that it would help to take the team, or it will help the team to go to another level in terms of what we're trying to do, what Slot's trying to do. I just think it would help. So get those three for me, then I will call it a 10 out of 10 window, because then I can see that, you know what, you've really looked at the squad, you've looked at what you need to address, and you've looked at how we can take our game to the next level. That's when I can really look at the team kind of thing. At the moment, I'm still like, yeah, you can sign Guehi, and listen, Guehi for short term, he offers me nothing. Long term, obviously, he's going to be here. But short term, it doesn't really change anything. Isak's kind of the same. Short term, yeah, it's not really offering me that much more than what I've got already. Long term, of course, yes. Like if you're going to be here for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years, yeah, of course. If Salah leaves and all this kind of stuff, then it might work out. But short term, right now, what we're looking at, can you tell me right now, if we signed Guehi and you signed Isak, with what you've seen and watched in the last 2, 3 games, do they add anything that helps us to look better, or is it just a case of no, it'll be good to have these bodies in because you look at the bench. I'm like, forget the bench for a second. I'm just looking at the 11 in itself. I'm like, I still think you can improve that. In that kind of case, yes, maybe Isak comes in and maybe he starts, but Guehi not really a starter / maybe a starter. So you're not really you're just signing a bench player, really and truly. That's fine. I've got no issues with that. I just think the team is missing that key midfielder that in most of my history of football watching, every team has had that one midfielder in there that allows them to do whatever it is that they need to do. We don't have that. And I think until you get that, you can get all of the pieces. It's just not going to work.
Is that the space, though? I think it's the space, I don't 100%. Think it's not what we think. 100%. I don't think we don't think that. And I know you're thinking about it the same way I see Isak, in terms of Isak steps into the team. I think the team goes up another level. In your mind as well, you're thinking if that midfielder goes into the team goes up another level as well.
Yeah.
But we've got so many midfielders.
I know.
It's not the fact that we don't need one. It's the fact that we don't have space. And I think it's one more year and then we go again with the midfield. I think it's just one more year and then it's the midfield we go.
I get what G's saying though, and I kind of understand where you're coming from, G, because I think the most important thing is that we saw the tactics out and we start playing better football with the players we've got. That's the most important thing. For Liverpool to win anything this season, it isn't going to come down to signings. It's going to be Slot sorting out how this team's playing, right? Regardless of who's in it. Because at the minute, it's not looking good, right? So he needs to sort that out. And part of that is the new players bedding in. Then you think, okay, well, we probably need a striker because you can't just go into the season with one striker. And when that guy's not there, you have to change all your tactics. So I would say priority is getting a striker in. Then you look at the next weakest area of the pitch. And for me, in terms of the depth, it's the centre-back position because Konate does pick up injuries. Leone may come in, but he's a young man, regardless of how tall and strong he looks. And he's new to the league. Italians don't travel well over here. Everything, he might be great, but it's a complete unknown. And even then, you're really down to the bare bones if one player goes out of that defense. But I kind of get what you're saying, G, because you need a player in the center of the park that can pull all the strings when the game's not going in your favor. And that's what Newcastle had when they played us, because there were periods of that game where we got up the pitch and then Guimaraes would just take it off our player and then he would nutmeg Bradley and then he would run up the pitch. And seemingly they've gone from defending, which they did comfortably because he won that ball off of our player, to then attacking, and they're sustaining pressure up the pitch because he's also the man that's doing the press up there and he's got the footwork to ride out the challenge from our players and control. So you can look at that Newcastle side and say, the defense and Shaw and Burn and stuff is okay. And you could look at the attack and say, Elanga and Gordon, it's okay, it's good. But it was that midfield, even when Tonali and the other fellow, I can't remember his name, went off, right? Joe Linton. Joe Linton and Tonali went off. That Newcastle side, even with 10 men, still managed to dominate most of the game because it had that player in midfield that was able to do everything and dictate, and in Guimaraes. So I kind of understand what you're saying, because Liverpool are going to go through this season, if we see what we seen last season and what I said earlier becomes true, you're going to go through the season where the patterns aren't quite clear to see. There's not much foothold in the game. It's a bit back and forth. It's a bit open at times. And you need that one player in the middle of the park that's connected to every other teammate that just gets his foot on the ball, can ride out any challenge, any press, and just controls. And I think if you've got that, you then start to shore up your defense. You're not looking as open, you're not as exposed. And then you facilitate everybody else getting on the ball so they can go and play, which will lead to you being more of an attacking threat. So I kind of get why you would say we don't quite have that player, because we have brilliant midfielders and we really do. And they'll all walk away saying, yeah, I had a good, McAllister would say, probably 7 out of 10. You'd probably say Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, much the same 7 out of 10s. But as a unit, did they completely control? Probably not. There's not a standout. There's not a standout person that gets their foot on the ball and dictates. The only time we see that level of control really is when Gravenberch is press resistant and he's on it. When he's on it, he does it in a different way. not necessarily through his passing. It's through being press resistant. It's taking the opposition out of the game, opening up space because that press hasn't worked and the players have gone beyond that line. And he's able to punch the ball forward or drive from midfield. So he does it in a slightly different manner, but you do almost need like a Rodri-like figure in there. That's just like, I recognize that where the pace of this game, the tempo of it is going against us. I'm gonna get this ball and I'm gonna just dictate from here on in. And I kind of understand why you would see that as a position we need to strengthen for them reasons. It's just the position of the pitch. Call it a 6, call it a defensive man and midfielder. You're in the center of the park. You're connected to every other teammate. You can dictate. And I think and I really like our midfield, but you're probably fair in saying if we're talking elite level football and we're talking about being the best club side in world football by winning the Champions League or the Premier League, you probably do need that player. We didn't need it last season, but we've always got to think that everybody else is getting stronger. And in Arsenal, they certainly have. So I could see why you probably want to get somebody like that in the door. Yeah.
Do you know? Now I was looking at the team here. Now it was a great point, right? Because while you guys were speaking, making your points, I'm looking at the team going, yeah, Bruno G has everything all of our players have, but he has it in him just in the one player, and that's probably what we're missing. So he's got the slide lungs. He would just run around, tackle people for days. He's got the footwork of Gravenberch. He's also got the passing of like a McAllister and the calmness. But also, if I add Florian Wirtz to it, he has got like eye the needle pass where he's like proper creative as well, where he's just trying to play these wonder passes. So like we are missing that one guy that has everything, which will then help the other guys just to go and do what they're good at.
Imagine. Yeah. Imagine having, we'll use Bruno because you're talking about him, right? Put Bruno into Liverpool's team alongside whoever you want, Gravenberch, McAllister, but whoever, doesn't matter. You put him there, you're now unlocking. Remember, you spoke about this, I think, yesterday on the stream, or I think we was talking in the chat about, I can't remember, about guys not really wanting to pass to Florian Wirtz and stuff like that. You see, Bruno, he will do that. He will do things like that. And as you said, he will allow for Florian Wirtz, because we know Florian Wirtz, when I'm watching him, I'm like, yeah, you're not really getting into the game and you're not really doing anything. But when you do, I can see, okay, yeah, this brother's on the next thing. Like he's already on another level to what we're already used to. We are getting that kind of Thiago effect of like, man, just passing him the ball and just looking at, okay, do something. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, no, you need to help him, get into space and move around. Bruno, I feel, and I'm just using Bruno, but Bruno is a player that I feel you put into Liverpool's midfield. Cav is right. We've got good midfielders. So I'm not even saying sell this guy, sell that guy. No. You keep those guys there because you need that depth regardless. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, it wouldn't be sick to have a depth of supposedly like Curtis Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch in reserve. Bro, of course, that's like a fantastic depth. Throw in that almost like elite kind of midfielder, or even just profile-wise, that type of midfielder, whether you think he's elite or not. I promise you, like I've never ever looked at a position for Liverpool and said, nah, if you get this, and I thought that I was going to say that with Isak, but I'm telling you, you get a player like Bruno, you get whatever, just those kind of players, Liverpool will go up a notch because we've got all the other players. We've got the dynamic fullbacks. You've got the number 10. You've got the striker. You've got the winger. You've got the goalkeeper. You've got the flipping centre back. You've got every other position that other teams would cry to get. We've got that. So I'm not concerned. That's why I'm never bothered. I don't care about the centre-back position. I don't care about the striker because we've already got those. But you see that midfielder. You see that midfielder that takes PSG from just being that team that no one really cared about to all of a sudden, now they're balling like Barcelona 2011. Yeah, you know why? The midfield. It's not even necessarily looking at the attack. The attack is amazing. But that midfield is the reason why they're so good. We've seen it before with past teams. You look at Real Madrid's team of the past, Ronaldo, Bale, Benzema, absolutely a world-class elite. But you see that midfield that they had behind them. Yeah, without those guys ain't performing. Xavi, Iniesta, yeah, without those guys, it just doesn't work. You need that midfield. And I just think Liverpool are just missing a trick. I don't need 3 of them, by the way, because Liverpool have the other 2. We've got the Szoboszlai, you've got Curtis Jones, you've got McAllister, you've got Gravenberch. You're literally just missing the one guy to piece it together, and I promise you, you will start looking at Liverpool differently. That's how I feel anyway when I think about it.
Because when you look at, like, I think I'm not sure if it was Slot that was speaking, but I think it probably was. He mentioned that obviously we wanted Zubimendi, and he's obviously gone to Arsenal, and he was describing why we wanted him and the characteristics, and it was that a really composed person on the ball that could dictate tempo with just his passing, and you kind of think, yeah, we could have probably done with that, to be fair, you know, and that's a really strong addition to the Arsenal side, and look, we'll find out tomorrow how good he really is, but I could have done with a player like that. And just when you think about, we always talk about the spine of a team, right? In Alisson, we've got brilliant goalkeeper. Distribution at times a bit iffy. I didn't think it was great against Newcastle, but actually overall, obviously brilliant, right? Virgil, strong, spine of a team, leader at the back. He takes where the line is. Marshall's cool, got that. And then you kind of skip, and then you talk about Salah, right? But even when you talk about Salah, he is a leader, okay? Off the pitch more so, I would say. But on the pitch, I think he talks to players, and I do think that he steps up when he's talking to the referee and all things like that. And in the big moments, he'll take the penalties and this and that. I get that. But in terms of general play, and we're talking about periods of the game where you're not necessarily on top. It's just you sort of meandering through the game a little bit. Let's say you've after the first 10, 15 minutes to the next 4 to half time, that 30-minute stint there where really your football shows because the crowd's quieting down a little bit. You've got your touch of your ball, you're warm now, you know, people are setting positions, you're into the game, right? What is your side? And that's the period of the game where he probably doesn't come deep to get the ball, doesn't come and try and be the dictator of the side. He'll stay out on the right and he'll wait for the ball to come to him. So then when you think you've got Ali, Virgil, and then you skip to Salah, who plays like that high and wide on the right, you've kind of got a break in your spine a little bit. And that's where we're talking about having that player that is just call him a DM, whether he's defensively minded or not, but just somebody who can control a Thiago when we add him, let's say. The next guy in midfield is a part of the spine that's just so reliable in being able to get you out of the tough moments in game, get you control of the game again, and then enable your forwards to go. That's your spine. And we probably don't have that because, like En said, we have it when you add all the parts together, but we don't have the one player that can do it all. And I think that that's something where this season, if we can keep Gravenberch fit and he plays like he did at the first half of last season, it will be fine. You'll solve the problem, not necessarily with the right answer, but you'll solve the problem enough to get you to win the league because the rest of the team's so good. The rest of the team will find a way of scoring goals. When we have to sit back in games, we've shown last season that we can, you know, be defensively solid when that's our primary task. But when these fixtures come along and your attack's not really working out and stuff, you've got to fall back to something. And unfortunately, we're not very good at set pieces. And you know, we need that player in there. But I just hope it goes the way it did last season, where Gravenberch is enough and the quality in the side's enough. But I do think that at some point we probably do need to sign that player like you've spoken about, just to sort of cement that spine really in the team. So it's a great point because I must admit, G, until you really brought up, I kind of overlooked it a little bit because I was so focused on getting depth in the forward and defensive positions. And I like our midfield so much that I just instantly think, yeah, I'm cool with it. But actually, you're right in what you're saying. It's an area of the pitch that we could do with that specialist type player.
And just before you go on, and I know you want to move on to this, but I just want everyone to understand, I'm also not saying sell the other guys. Like I'm good with keeping these guys, but it is just more about, as Cav said, it's like we've got all of those individual qualities, but that then requires they have to all be on form at like the same time, and we can't always guarantee that, and that's a bit too much to kind of rely on. But if you get a guy who's just got all of that in one, like I've never been this sure about any position for Liverpool. I'm telling you now, you guys will look at Liverpool differently. I'm showing you, you'll look at Liverpool differently.
I know how you're feeling, and the way you're expressing it, because that's the exact same way I feel about getting Isak in Liverpool. Because I see the team going, bro, just give these men chances, bro, and we'll win games of football. That's the way I see it. Just give them chances. Give him. I don't that. 2 goals, 3 goals. I'm looking at a player that could get you a hat trick. Even Ekitike now, I'm like, No, just give this brother chances, bro. We'll smoke
no.
everyone. Big up to DWN, LDN, Isak Guehi and Morgan Rogers. What are you saying, Ends? I saw the reports about Morgan Rogers, bro. I chose to kind of leave it because I was like, is it realistic? It probably is realistic, to be fair. Maybe I'm just overlooking it as probably not a possibility. But he's like an attacking type of midfielder where can play like off the right, off the left, through the middle. Like he's one of those all-rounders for me. But I'm like, who does he come in and not replace, but who does he come in? Does he start? Is he on the bench? Is he like the cup games guy? Like, what's the expectation? Is he one for the future? Do we see no one else in the team that could potentially hold those minutes? That's the only thing that why I'm like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure it really fits, to be honest, because he's a bit like Eze joining Arsenal. You can't really put him in the midfield, but is he the same effective player out on the left wing? I don't know. So I like him as a player. I think he's great. When he's on it, he can terrorize teams, but I'm not sure it's necessarily what we need or if there's a spot for him really. And also Villa let Ramsey go to Newcastle, didn't they? So I think they kind of put their faith in Rodgers. Yeah, whereas it was Ramsey previously.
Guys, let me know because one of you guys in the chat could throw up the dates of when the chat, because I know the draw while we was on, the times and dates when we're playing those games. For the Champions League is now up and running. But I saw that we don't have to spend long on it was more just a question to you both in terms of Gomez. Do you see him leaving? Obviously, just reported saying AC Milan's considered putting in a bid or getting him on loan. I can't see Liverpool throwing a versatile player like Joe Gomez and just go, nice, all right, you can go, when he could play left back, right back, and centre back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him going.
Not to sound rude here, but we were just talking about centre backs. I didn't even count him. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Like, he was another. No. But not. I'm trying.
I know you're not doing it. I did that to Robbo the other day. I was looking at the bench. Robbo was on the bench.
Robbo. Yeah, I mean, like my brain just went, oh yeah. So really, you've got 4 centre backs if you get Guehi in. Then maybe I don't think if you can just stay fit, Joe. Like I bet Joseph, if that's your full name, but I beg you just stay fit, bro. Because if you stay fit, why wouldn't you want a brother who can play left back, centre back, and right back? Like you've sorted out your whole defense in one player. What we're talking about for the midfielder, you've now got that for your defender. Really, you should stay. But you know where I'm like, bro, you're so injury prone that I don't know if Liverpool are just willing to just keep you just because of the versatility. Is that going to outweigh the money that you might get? If it outweighs it, keep him.
He's not going to. 5 centre backs with Guehi signing. We've got 5 centre backs. We got Leone, Virgil. So Leone, Virgil, Konate, Guehi, and then Gomez.
Yeah.
So there's no point selling this late in the window now. Like, I think he's probably, when fit, probably like our best left back.
It started off with high pitch and it. Yeah, probably.
It's not gonna lie. There was a stint he did at left back a couple of years ago, and he was brilliant. Like even right back. I mean, I'm not gonna say right back because obviously my faith is in Conor Bradley, right?
Yeah.
But let's say Conor Bradley's not around on the scene. I like Joe Gomez at right back. He's just assured. I'm confident. I know what I'm going to get out of him. He's solid. Centre back, I can't say the same. I've kind of lost faith with him as a centre back, to be honest with you. Too many performances where he's crumbled. So
plus, I feel like he might score it at left back. That stint, he looked likely to score a goal as well as cutting in, hitting shots. It's just like, maybe he'll get his goal. But we'll end it on this one, guys. So Andrew, wherever his name's Andy Robertson, is the new vice captain of Liverpool Football Club. I've seen people saying it should have been Mo Salah. I was like, nah. I think he leads in his performance. Well, didn't perform well in the last 2, but he leads well in that way. And I think he's more of like a mentor, which is a part of leadership as well, isn't it, really? I feel like Robbo is the more outspoken. I feel like Robbo will voice his opinions a lot more louder on the pitch than what Mo. I think Mo would do it with his expression, body language. where Rob, I seen screaming at Virgil when he told him I was about to clear that last season, and he made me look like a waste man by kicking it against me, and then we scored the own goal. So I think it's a great appointment. Chat, who would you guys have picked? And I'll ask the guys on the panel as well as your vice Pitane, bro. Who did you guys pick?
I mean, I'm all right with Robert being it, to be honest with you. Like I said this to you when I think it was rumored that he was gonna be at the start of the summer. Like he's the guy when you watch the inside training videos, he's the guy that comes in, cracking a joke, like lifting everybody up, motivating people. Yeah, that character can't be dismissed. You know, it's really important for keeping the players in check if you're going to win anything this season. You see his little comment about Rio's new hairstyle and stuff, like just little things in the background. It just to win anything, you need a happy group, and I feel like he plays a massive part in that. Plus, he's been there, done it, won everything with Liverpool. So what he says has substance. You know, it's not like some new guy coming in and saying, "Oh, yeah, do this," and the player is saying it 2 times around and says, well, why would I take that from you? You've not done anything yet. Whereas Robert's got, a lot of
everything.
A lot of credit behind him. So I'm all right with it because of the character that he is. There's an argument to say how much is he going to play this season, and would you want your vice captain on the pitch? But let's face it, the captain's going to be on the pitch in most games. So I don't think it really matters too much. I'm with you. I didn't want it to be Salah because I don't think he does enough throughout 90 minutes of the game to warrant being the captain. I think a lot of the work he does off the pitch, which he'll do anyway, to be honest with you. He did a really good interview. I'm not sure if you guys seen it the other day, talking about his sort of the development of him as a character and his importance to Liverpool and mentoring players and stuff now. And you can just tell that he's a natural leader now anyway. So he probably didn't need the vice captain to be able to keep doing that. So yeah, Robert, I'm cool with. Further afield, I don't know. Maybe I'd have looked at one of the midfielders, maybe Sobo or somebody like that. But if Liverpool start playing football, Sobo like they should, Sobo might not even get in the side. So I'm not too sure. But yeah,
you're gonna need him. You're gonna need him regardless, bro.
We need
someone needs to
especially if Liverpool continue to not play football properly, then we definitely
do you know it's crazy because we spoke about the player that could pretty much do what all of the players can do combined. If we got that one player, I think then anyone in the team can be dropped at that point. Because then you won't need Max passing, you won't need Sobo's legs, you won't need maybe Wirtz is the only one.
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't want to take the conversation back there, but that could be Sobo, when we think about Sobo's lie and what the ability he's got and the engine and everything else, like, he could be that player we were talking about.
He can, he's got it. It's just like, I don't know. When a guy's just like he's pulling and pushing in a direction where he's like, what type of player do I want to be? You start off as like a player that could be like you could play across the front and you're an attacking, creative player, scoring goals, and then we've shifted you as more of a babysitter on the clock, and then now we've shifted you as just being the legs in the team, and then still babysitting again. So I'm like, I think he's just pulling and put like what player, because he's so young as well. I think eventually if he gets to that place where he's just like, okay, this is what I want to truly do. I want to be the protector of the team. I want to sit in here and dictate tempo, and I want to run and I want to tackle and stuff like that. And I want to get box to box. You might get that player that we're probably speaking about. But at the moment, I think he hasn't settled yet whether he wants to be that type of player. And like Grav when he came to Liverpool, was like, oh yeah, he can play 8 and play. And I feel like now Grav is kind of accepted and loved this new role he's in. That's why his performances have been so good. I know the back end of the season, it wasn't up to the standards he set at the start of the season, but I can see it in him like he loves this. Oh yeah, I'll just sit in here and get the ball, win it, turn. I can play it in the tackles. And then he broke up Bruno Guimaraes in the game. I was like, that's what we require from the 6, innit? Let no nonsense in there, bro. So maybe Sobo can get there, but big up to Cav, man. Big up to G. Unless you guys have anything else you want to add, and then we'll kind of wrap the stream up.
Nah. Is this are you doing a preview to tomorrow's game, or?
I've already done the preview, so we do the build. The build up is normally an hour before kickoff, or we just chop up the game and then we'll chop up what we expect. Does anyone change their score predictions? And what's the nerves like and stuff like that, just to kind of get us prepared mentally for the game we're about to play. Because at the moment, Liverpool just scoring goals, but we're also leaking goals, so should be interesting.
Yeah, I tell you what though, if we win tomorrow and we get 3 wins out of 3 going into the international break, you could put a real positive spin on it and just say, look, loads of new players, loads of change. We're finding a way to win, top of the league probably. This is what champions do, and the football can only improve after, and it could be really good. But lose, we're gonna have a horrible international break because these Arsenal fans are the loudest. So
and it would be right
already
before
gonna be on the back foot
as well.
Yeah. But that's the thing with the Arsenal guys, isn't it? You can't do anything, man, with them. They just, regardless of whatever they're gonna speak on how they speak. But did you guys see the Champions League times and dates at all?
Oh, I can find it. I didn't see it, but I can find it.
Yeah, if you can find it, we'll just quickly have a talk about that and then head out.
We need to be PSG shown us last season. Like, you ain't got to take the group stage that seriously.
I told you don't. You actually really don't.
We talk about all these conversations about squad depth and stuff. Well, just fucking scrap 3 of the Champions League games. Don't worry about them. Just make sure you win the rest. Like,
Enza just in the group, innit?
Okay, appreciate it. Big up to KG as well. Says it looks increasingly likely that Isak joins Liverpool, but still a lot needs to happen for that to take place. That's from Einstein. Okay, so the stance has changed, Einstein. I see you, bro. Big up to you, man.
I'm sure there are things that are going on behind the scenes. I don't know, man. But even to your conversation about Robbo and that, I'm calm with Robbo. Like, he seems like he's always jokes. He's always on banter at some stage. Like, every time I see him, which is, as Cav said, like, you need that. And one thing I will say about Liverpool, as much as we used to joke about stuff like this before, now when I'm looking at other clubs, I actually get it more. You see, like, we used to joke about Klopp would, like, he wants to know your third cousin. Like, have you had anybody who's been to jail? Like, even if there's some distant family member. Like, we used to bust joke about this stuff. But I look at Man United, I look at Chelsea, I look at some of these other clubs, and I'm like, yeah, look at that culture. It stinks like shit. Like, it's such a crap culture. Hence why it's like Man United are why they are, because your culture just got destroyed. And now you've just got a bunch of guys who just come in and out, blah, blah, blah. Chelsea, is it even a culture at this point? It's just a bunch of players being put together, playing FIFA and stuff like that. So Liverpool, in my opinion, when I look at the club as a whole, I'm like, at least we get good characters. Like, there's no scandal. There's no, well, this guy's been doing God knows what in France. Like, we haven't got none of that stuff. Like, we kind of keep everyone's just cool and blessed. I think Harvey Elliott was the last person I heard when he said that thing about Harry Kane. Ever since then, I rarely ever hear anything about Liverpool players. So I have to big up Liverpool for that, man. Like, that's one good thing that they do still.
Looking at the dates here, bro. So Atletico is the first one, and then we got Galatasaray. Then we got what's they called? Why is the name gone out my head, bro? Jesus Christ.
You're looking at Fenerbahce?
No. After Fenerbahce. Why has the name slipped my mind? Ekitike's team.
Oh, Frankfurt.
Frankfurt. Thank you, bro. Yeah. And then Real Madrid. That's the one I was looking for more so than none. November the 4th. All right. What's the teams in and around that? The games in and around November the 4th. Yeah. So where we're doing home and then 2 away back to back, and then we're home again, and then we're home, 2 away, and then home. So we finish it off at home. Okay, fair enough.
At least there's a big gap between that Real Madrid game and PSV. Yeah, there seems to be quite a gap.
That's going to be such an interesting game to start off our Champions League campaign against Atletico, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, is that home? Okay, thank God. If it was away now.
If it was away, it's a lot.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd like it flipped. I'd like it so we started off with Karabag and Marseille and Inter and PSV.
Yeah, cool.
Because we win them games. It's just I don't care shit I was in the fucking Real Madrid game. Put the youngsters in. I don't care. Honestly, like, or just get through the group stage by the skin of your teeth, because you don't need to win the thing. Like, just it's so important.
Know, I'm looking at it, how they've done these fixtures, man, because You start off with Atletico Madrid, which is mad. Then you go away. Who's that? That's Fenerbahce, right? Yeah. Galatasaray. So you go away to them. Okay. Then it's Frankfurt. You're like, okay, that's calm. Then you get Real Madrid. So it's like hard, and then you get like, yeah, these teams are kind of like meaty-ish kind of thing. You should be able to defeat them. Then you get Real Madrid. Then you go back to PSV. You should be able to. Then you get Inter Milan. Then it goes back down to Marseille, and then we end it off with. I like the way it's all up and down a little bit, but I hear what Cav's saying. Though I would prefer let's just beat these shit teams first, and then we can get the tough teams.
Let's say qualify, and then at least then you go.
Yeah, qualify first, and then you can pattern up whatever later. You know what I'm saying?
I like the head-to-heads though, because I feel like when's the last time played Inter?
Yeah, or Marseille.
When's
the last time played Marseille and stuff like
that?
And
Marseille and stuff. Yeah, we're getting some different fixtures this season.
We ain't played teams like that.
When Gerrard, was it Torres who scored that banger against Marseille? Was it Gerrard?
It might have been Gerrard when he hit was it a free kick?
I feel like we was wearing a black kit. We wore a black kit that day.
And I remember the last time we played Inter as well. It was ages, man.
Someone in the chat, man. Let me know if I'm bugging or not.
Well, yeah, like PSV and Real Madrid. This is like an Atletico now. Like, I'm bored of playing these guys now, bro. Like, I knew we'd get Real Madrid, you know. I knew like they had to, and I knew they had to do it at home. They're like, oh, the computer just. I'm like, nah, like no one can't go. Yeah, pick Liverpool at home. Pick Real Madrid.
Yeah,
nah, it was mad. When I saw it, I was like,
I thought we was gonna get PSG. I can't lie. I actually thought we was gonna get PSG.
Nah, there's nothing in that, innit? And I thought maybe like Bayern or someone like that we could get as well, but
I want to
Diaz would have come back and nah, we ain't ready for that level of football yet.
No, but sometimes you gotta learn. Like you see how we learn.
No, because you're talking about the 17th of September, the mate, and we're going away on a little break after the game. I don't know if the man them come back in the right front and the tactics is right. And the way we leave so much space and gaps, it might look nasty, bro.
No. But and this is
might be like 6-5. But
no. You play Barcelona first. Yeah, get that game out of the way. You learn. Remember, September the 17th. That's like close, isn't it? So you learn from Barca. At least now we can go for the rest of the season. He's always got that Barca game in his mind, like how he had Nottingham Forest last season. He's got Barcelona in his mind, thinking, bro, see the way that they were playing, and they did. Okay, we need to pattern up. Now we've got the rest of the season. Now, if we face Barcelona next season, like after January when the next round starts, well, we might just get popped for no reason. Like, I'd rather face them.
I'm not sure. I mean, Forest last season losing that game really bugged in for the whole season. I'm not sure losing to Barcelona is going to bug you that much, to be honest. Like, that's because one you kind of accept, you know.
Yeah, Forest bugged him, and then PSG was like, "That's the best game of football I've ever been involved in."
Yeah,
that was mad.
That was mad.
But yeah, we'll leave it there, lads. Big up to you guys. In terms of what's coming up next, guys, we got the build up. So that's I think it's an hour set. It's already scheduled as well, guys. So it's an hour before the game, and then we're gonna do the watch along. Straight after the watch along, we're gonna have the call in. So win, lose or draw, I'll be there, man. I'll be there, and I know. You know what I know? If Arsenal does get a victory, I know Arsenal guys that don't ever call in.
Yeah,
they're gonna call in. They're gonna call in. So it'll be interesting. But Gav, thanks, bro, for jumping in. Big up to G. Thanks for jumping in. Big up to Sav as well. He couldn't stay for too long, but I appreciate you jumping in as well. But yeah, crazy, man. Let's see, man. We've got one more game, international break. Oh yeah, Trent didn't get picked as well. Mad. Didn't get picked by Madrid and didn't get picked by England. Crazy that, innit? Crazy that. Peace out, peeps.
Nice one. In a bit.
Yeah.